I'd echo what Helen said in terms of thanking everyone for being here. It's great to be able to speak to you. I've done a lot of speaking to people, and being shouted at as well in this campaign, but it's certainly good to be in person this time rather than on Zoom, as is normally the case with Hustings. Now, I think it's very clear that we all want a greener borough, a greener country and a greener world. But in order to do this, we need pragmatic solutions. So we need solutions that consider the impact on global majority communities and those on lower incomes. And that's why I am pleased to be here tonight, because I want to discuss with you what a Conservative administration in Hackney would do for green issues. Now, anyone who really knows about my campaign will know that I'm not too hot on LTNs. I think that they've been rushed through by the council, and they've been rushed through without any regard for what the consultations say. So no consultation has ever returned a majority in favour of LTNs in those areas. And I think it's time, as Helen said, to listen to people in the community and listen to what they have to say. There are greater issues with LTNs, issues about boundary roads, about who lives on roads which aren't protected from LTNs. So on boundary roads you are more likely to find minorities, people with disabilities, people living in social housing. And unfortunately, because of the way that LTNs are set up, they don't evaporate traffic, they just force it onto more busy roads. For example, when Richmond Road was closed, 10,000 cars per day went onto Graham Road. Now that isn't safe, that isn't sustainable, and that isn't how we should be treating the communities who live along those boundary roads. In fact, in car ownership, there's this idea that LTNs reduce car ownership. They don't. In London Fields, in the first year that LTNs were implemented, 297 new parking permits were issued. And I think it's really important in times like this that we take note of the fact that people don't drive in Hackney because they want to. I mean, it's a hellish experience driving in Hackney. I don't personally drive, but if I'm ever in a car with a friend, it is a hellish experience driving in Hackney. People don't drive because they have to, because they want to. They drive because they have to, because there isn't the public transport provision that is needed. And this is again an issue with TfL. There isn't the access for a lot of people to sustainable travel. So I support all of the mayoral pledges except for the LTN one. I think it's really important that we support all communities in this, and unfortunately LTNs have been shown to have a harsher impact on minority communities and those without access to the things that we're here discussing tonight. I think it's also important to remember that we can't just pretend that cars don't exist. It's all well and good to say that only 30% of Hackney drive or own cars. That's great. Not one person ever standing for mayor in this borough has received more than 30% of the population's vote. So I think that actually, you know, I think when Mayor Glanville was first elected, I think it was 12% in terms of turnout versus share of the vote. So 30% is quite a large number, and we shouldn't forget that people are driving because they have to. So we need to open options up for people so they don't have to drive. And that's what we have to do, because without that, we're just making lives harder for people. So I'm looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts. I'm looking forward to hearing everyone's questions, and I hope that I can help to clarify some of our positions.